Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing my monthly reading wrap up. Now, here's the interesting part is that I have 2 months that I need to go through because I didn't do a reading wrap up for May, and obviously I'm doing the one for June now. That is because in May I didn't read too many books that I deemed was enough to make or want to make a reading wrap up, so I decided just to combine May and June. So I didn't read too much, but I did read a good amount. Whatever amount of books you read in a month is good, just I have a problem with comparing myself to people and like people who read like 20 books a month, and I'm like, how do you do that? But anyways, we're gonna get started on the books that I read in May. These are all the books that I read in May. I read 6 books in May, and we're gonna start off with the first one that I read. The first book that I read was Set on You by Amy Lee. Now, this book took me a long time to finish. I was reading this during finals and even a week after. I just literally wanted this book to end, and that's like the worst feeling when you're reading a book, is when you literally just want the end to come now. Like, you literally don't want to read it anymore. I can't tell you too much about it because I don't remember it, but this does have a plus size representation in it. Me personally, I love that. I love when there's plus size representation because I just feel more seen within the female main character. It is about a fitness influencer, and she meets this guy at her gym, and she kind of meets on bad terms. She doesn't really like him at the beginning, and then they meet again in another situation, and we see their friendship start to form, and we see their relationship as well start to form after that. And I just feel like this book, I didn't connect with the characters. Sometimes I was a little annoyed by them, didn't care about the couple too much, so it didn't make me want to read this book. And I really felt bad because I genuinely thought I would love this book. I heard so many good things about this one. I just couldn't find myself liking it, and for that I give this book a 3 stars. I can see the appeal of this book, but just me personally, I couldn't connect to them, and I just didn't care about them, to be honest. And I just wanted the book to end. Anyways, that was the first book, 3 stars. Then I decided to pick up 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This one I really enjoyed. After reading Set on You, I was like, I need a really good book, so hopefully this one is it. And this one was it. I gave this book a 4 stars. It was really, really good. So this one follows Shane and Ava, and this is a second chance romance, so we go back on perspectives. So we go from then and now, and it obviously follows 7 Days in June. In their then perspective, we see them as kids when they meet. Both of them are not in the best places in their lives. They're dealing with trauma, they're dealing with situations that they shouldn't be dealing with at that age, but are, and they are just not in the best space, and they meet, form like some sort of relationship, but inevitably split up. And then we come back to the now perspective. They are both authors, they both publish books, sort of rekindle that friendship and also rekindling that relationship. Not only did I extremely root for this relationship because Shane was just like, oh my god, so good, like I loved Shane, but I also really enjoyed both of them as characters individually, and seeing their then and where they were in their headspace then, and just seeing them now as grown adults, like try to unpack everything that they dealt with as a child, and just also while trying to reconnect with each other, was so good. I absolutely loved this story, and it's a really good read. I highly recommend it. 4 stars. Go read it. Then I moved on to a series, which is the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I read all of these in this month, and I'm going to talk about each one. The first one that I read was Stolen Heir. This is a mafia dark romance. All of them are, so I'm not going to keep repeating that. It follows Nessa Griffin. The Brutal Birthright series follows 2 families, the Griffins and the Gallows, and Nessa is a part of the Griffins family. She is kind of the youngest sister. She's kind of seen as immature, to be honest, and she is made to feel naive to the whole family situation, family business. They don't really want her a part of it, and it makes her feel very excluded from her own family. And she ends up being kidnapped by Mikolaj, I think is how you say his name. I looked it up one time and I think that's how you say it, but if it's not, I'm really sorry. She ends up being kidnapped by Mikolaj because of a feud between the Griffins and his mafia sort of side. Relationship forms. This is really, like, sometimes when I say mafia plots out loud, I'm like, I wonder what my grandmother would think of me knowing that I read this. Like, this is on my shelf. She's seen the shelf. And I'm like, she would be scared, probably have a heart attack on the spot, knowing I read it and enjoyed it, because I did enjoy this book. I gave it a 4 stars. I love Mafia dark romances purely because they're just so entertaining. Like, I have not read a Mafia dark romance that wasn't the most entertaining thing in the world. Like, yes, it deals with issues that in real life I would probably pass out if I saw before me. But like, when I read it, I'm like, this is so fun. That's like scary. But anyways, I didn't entirely love the relationship between the two of them. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of them. I really just liked Nessa in the story because I liked seeing her progress and character development. Go read it. 4 stars. Amazing. Then I picked up the next book in the series, which is Savage Lover. This one follows Nero, Gallo, and Camille. One of the tropes is he's rich and she's not. She has money issues and just, you know, stuff happening within her family. They went to the same high school together, but Nero didn't notice her, didn't really like take interest in her. She works at her dad's car garage and Nero's also interested in cars, so it was cute to see their like common hobby. I really liked that, and watching them bond over it was really cute. And I really liked this one. I was super excited to read Nero's story from the other books and just seeing him as a side character. He's very much like all business. He's like, I literally will kill you in 2 seconds and I won't feel bad about it. And I'm like, okay. And he's like a little crazy. You saw him like slowly melt for her and just care about her so much, and just see the softy side of him, and I really enjoyed that part of it. I loved seeing Nero open up to someone. Anyways, 4 stars. Now we're moving on to the best book in this series. Like, I haven't read the last one yet, but I just know it's not gonna beat this one. It is Bloody Heart. This one's about Dante Gallo and Simone. It's a 5-star read. Like, this is my second favorite dark romance ever. I love it. It is so good. Like, I really recommend this one in the series. If you want to read any of them, this one is the best one. And it is a second chance romance with Simone. So at the beginning, we see how they met in like a really interesting way, and we see their relationship grow, and then something happens, they split up, and then 9 years later, I'm pretty sure, they meet up again and start to rekindle that. And what happened to Simone is like so devastating, to be honest with you. When I read, I am an extremely visual and empathetic reader. So if the characters are feeling something really devastating, I'm sobbing with you. Like, trust, I will be there and I will be sobbing. Or if something really graphic's happening in dark romance or mysteries, I literally will see it in my head like a movie. But when this was happening to Simone, I just felt so bad for her because she did not deserve it. Like, watching Dante discover why they were split up, I was like, that's so sad. I loved it. Really recommend this one. And then finally, I read Broken Vow, which is the second to last one, and I was really excited about this one because at the end of Bloody Heart, we kind of got introduced to this couple and we got introduced to their story, and I really thought I was gonna like it a lot, and I didn't really like it as much as the other ones, and I do blame my 24-hour readathon that I did read this book in. I genuinely think that was the reason. If I didn't read it during a readathon, I think I would have enjoyed it just fine. It got a 3.75 from me. This one follows Ryona Griffin and Raylan is her bodyguard because an assassin is trying to kill her. And that is like really interesting. Like, I love a good bodyguard trope, and the concept of it was really interesting, like her being hunted by an assassin and him like protecting her. I thought that was like really interesting and I really liked that, but I ended up not enjoying it too much. Like, I just didn't connect with them as much as I thought I would. It was fine. 3.75 is not that bad, but there's that. That is it for my May reads. Now we're gonna move on to the books that I read in June. I'm gonna go on a long tangent about these books, but starting off, I read Flawless by Elsie Silver, the first book in the Chestnut Spring series. This series is crazy on Book Talk and BookTube and everything. Like, everyone's reading them, and as they should, because these books are amazing. Flawless follows Rhett in summer. Rhett is a professional bull rider, and his reputation is kind of going a little crazy because he got a little controversy. His reputation kind of needs to be cleaned up a little, so Summer is hired for him and has to go to his family's ranch to make sure he doesn't do anything crazy and doesn't ruin his reputation. It's forced proximity because of that, and they kind of don't like each other at the beginning. He's very hesitant towards Summer and is like, I don't need you. Like, why are you here? Watching their relationship grow throughout their book, like watching them start to warm up to each other and just form their relationship was so cute. I really liked them as a couple, and this book got a 4.25 stars for me. I really enjoyed them, and I'm in my country era, as everyone who reads the Chestnut Spring series is. I'm in my cowboy era. Might be going to a rodeo to find one. Who knows? Who knows? Guys, when I told you I'm kind of in a country era, I wasn't lying. Like, I might go to a rodeo. So I get book 4.25. Please go read it. Like, I will recommend any book in the Chestnut Spring series to you. Now we're getting on to the best one. Like, this one I'm gonna, like, you guys probably are gonna send me away because of how passionately I talk about this book, and you would be justified, because I think it is quite concerning the way I feel about this book and the way I feel about these characters. Like, I do think it's a little much, but I can't help it. Like, I just don't know what to say to you. It's the second book, Heartless. This book is so good. So all of these books follow the Eaton family or other relations to the family. So this one follows the oldest Eaton boy, Cade, and he is a single dad, literal cowboy. Like, he works on a ranch, he's a cowboy. Since he's a single dad, he needs a nanny to help watch his kid while he is working, and Summer's best friend, Willa, moves into his house to be his son's nanny. So it's single dad, it's nanny, it's forced proximity because they live in the same house, and also it's an age gap romance because there's a 13-year age difference between the two of them. She's 25 and he's 38. Guys, when I tell you I love this book so much, I'm not lying to you. I could talk about this book for hours. I'm not even kidding. Obviously, this book is a 5 stars. I genuinely think he's one of my #1 book boyfriends ever. He is very grumpy, literally does not smile for anyone, basically. So just seeing the way that he cared for her and, like, took notice in the littlest things about her was so cute. Watching him warm up to her, I loved. And Willa as a character, she's such a strong, funny character, and I really enjoyed that. I also loved watching the relationship between Willa and Luke, who is Cade's son. That relationship was so cute, watching Willa, like, start to care for him a lot, and seeing how Luke and Cade accepted Willa wholeheartedly into their family and just loved her. Please go read it. Please go read this book, like, especially. It's so good. Then I picked up Powerless, which is the 3rd book in the series. This one follows Jasper and Sloane. Sloane has literally been in love with Jasper since she met him, since they were kids. They were like friends when they grew up, but Sloane has been in love with him forever. She almost gets married, runs away, runs away from the groom, and they go on this, like, road trip together, and Jasper starts to express feelings for Sloane, and we just follow that. So it's a second chance kind of ish and friends to lovers story, and I really loved it. I loved watching both of them as individuals start to develop, because watching Jasper deal with his own anxiety and trauma while also seeing Sloane deal with sticking up for herself and her own family and just for what she wants, and then watching them together, like, as a couple was so good, because I genuinely believe they're soulmates. Like, literally they are together in every lifetime. That's how much of a connection they had. I really recommend this one as well. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. So good. Then I picked up The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is a mystery thriller, and I haven't read one of those in a long time, and I'm super glad I picked this one up. This one follows Millie, and she is in a very tough spot and needs a job desperately. She then interviews with this very wealthy family, with Nina being the mom, Andrew being the dad, and they have a daughter. And it's very, very creepy, because when she goes in, she has this off feeling, and then when she gets the job, she finds out she has to sleep in this attic that locks from the outside, like, not the inside, locks from the outside, and it's just very sketchy, very weird. Like, when I read it, I was like, girl, that's when you get out. Like, what do you mean you're still there? What do you mean you're still sleeping there? I know you need this job badly, but, like, if that were me, I would be out. I would be out. Like, I could not do it, but she stays, and we just watched this weird family dynamic, because the mom starts saying weird things and the kids acting weird. I honestly really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 stars. I didn't guess the ending because I'm not that good, but I did guess who it was, but I didn't guess, like, why this happened. And when I read it, it honestly made me feel kind of ill, because, as I said, I'm a very visual reader. So when I was reading, like, why this stuff happened and, like, what led up to it, I was about to vomit. Like, it was, like, so, like, it wasn't that graphic, but just, like, imagining it in real life, or, like, imagining me being in that scenario, I was like, this is gross. Like, this is gross. I don't like it. The writing was really easy to read and really easy to get into, and I never wanted to put the book down, which is a great sign. And I'm excited to read the second one. I'm excited to read more by Frida McFadden. Super duper good. And then finally, I read the newest release in the Chestnut Spring series, which is Reckless by Elsie Silver. I love this book. So this book follows Theo in Winter, and Winter is Summer's sister, and Rhett is kind of Theo's mentor because Theo is also a professional bull rider and really good. I love the dynamic between Theo and Winter. They are very much opposite attracts. Like, Winter is very just like serious and kind of stoic and just, you know, takes everything literally. And Theo is a big, like, he's so funny. He's very charismatic. I really liked the kind of reverse Grumpy Sunshine a little bit. This trope is a secret baby trope, which I haven't read much of, but I didn't realize how much I would like it, and the way Elsie Silver did it was really, really good. So it's secret baby, they have a one-night stand, she gets pregnant, some circumstances happen that he doesn't know, and then he finds out, and we start to see him form this relationship with his child. Theo is like such a good book boyfriend. I loved him so much. He is my second favorite in the series, obviously besides Katie, and he's so good because he cared for Winter in such an intense and loving way. Like, he accepted Winter for who she was because in her past, people have wanted to change her and just want her to not be who she truly is, but Theo was like, no, I accept you. And some of the quotes in here, literally, I was feral. I was on my book Snapchat story with like some of my closest friends on it, and I was feral for some of these quotes. The things that Theo said and did for Winter or to Winter, like, I was having issues because I was so like, when will this be me? I love Theo so much. I need a Theo in my life. And that might be a little crazy, but I'm not taking it back now. I really, really recommend reading this one. I gave this book a 4.75. It is such a good book. Like, this one is definitely my second favorite in the series. I really recommend this. And that is the last book that I read in May and June. It's not too much, but I'm really proud of what I read. That is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you read similar books this month, or if you just want to talk about the books that you read. Subscribe if you want to see more of my face, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!